Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We welcome Robert Boyd, President and CEO of Endurance Gold. He will speak to us about Endurance Gold's exciting new discovery at its Reliance project in British Columbia, which has yielded some impressive drilling results. Robert, you have 15 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. And attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away, Robert.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody, for attending and listening to our presentation. I think one of the things I want to emphasize is I've just got to make sure I can go on to my next slide here. So there we go. I guess the key point I needed to make that there was a disclaimer slide, so please recognize I may make forward-looking statements. But the key point on our corporate organization for the company is we've got about 135 million shares issued and outstanding, and 55% of our shareholding is held by insiders, including 3 directors, myself, Richard Gilliam, and Ross Arnold collectively own about 55%. I own 6%. The company has just closed a financing about 10 days ago for $3 million, and that's added on to working capital was at the end of September of 3.4. So we're a tightly held company, and our key Reliance project's located 4-hour summer drive north of Vancouver, in the community of near the community of Goldbridge. And we're located next door to Talisker's Braylorn Pioneer Gold Mine, which has produced over 4 million ounces of gold and is presently being explored to be expanded by Talisker. We're on a parallel structure about 4 kilometers to the east of Goldbridge, and the area is well serviced by infrastructure, power, and hydroelectric reservoirs, which are those lakes in the area, and road access onto the Reliance property on the Forestry Service Road that goes along the south shore of Carpenter Lake. This is a discovery stage project. We've since we optioned the property and done 2 years of exploration activity, we have a right to earn 100% interest, subject to a 1% NSR, and expenditures in the mid-80s right through 2008 were limited, focused on one key area on the property. And so we took the property on and did the first soil survey for gold, for instance, and did all the systematic work like biogeochem, airborne and ground mag, LIDAR, etc., resulting in discoveries of surface channel sampling results that had excellent surface results, and then RC drilling in 2 phases of 51 holes, and then culminating in a 22 drill maiden diamond drill program primarily focused on the Eagle and Imperial zones, which generated excellent results right through to early this year. And we're now transitioning into a drill program, which is expected to commence in April. So what are those results? This looks like we're onto an epizonal orogenic type gold system with an antimony signature related to breccia and silicification in a brittle deformation setting. And the channel samples that we had on surface in historic road cuts that were never systematically sampled in the past generated hits like 5.89 grams per ton gold over 31 meters and 4.8 over 23 meters or so. RC drill holes were very encouraging with intersections from surface like 14 grams over 15 meters and 10 grams over 6. Transitioning to diamond drilling, which had really encouraging drill intersections. In fact, the best one on the property, like 15.7 over 24.8 meters, including a higher grade core of about 27 grams per ton over 4 meters. Also some work done on the Imperial zone, which is both our work and historic work, but we did a drill hole there that generated 8.5 grams over 24 meters. That's an estimated true width. And then up plunge has also identified the up plunge extension of the Imperial zone and a new Diplomat discovery, which is the furthest drill hole to the northwest on the property of 16.5 grams over 4.6 meters. So what we've identified now quickly is turned this into a 1.5 kilometer long system where we got gold and bedrock and drill holes within a 2 kilometer long biogeochemical anomaly with elevated gold pathfinder elements. So this is what the structure looks like on surface. Very strong linear structure associated with the mineralization with a strong 300 meter wide alteration system related to gold in bedrock over about 1.5 kilometers of trend here. We're looking southeast now over Carpenter Lake, which is the BC Hydro Reservoir. And we also have mineralized structures that still remain to be explored properly with drilling along the treasure shear on a parallel structure. So this is what the zone looks like from surface on a plan map with the Diplomat up to the northeast and the northwest, and the best drill hole we've got on the property is still wide open to the southeast of the 15.7 grams over 24.8 meters. The pink coloration in here is the iron carbonate alteration primarily hosted in mafic volcanics, which are associated with a structural regime that separates mafic volcanic dominated from a sedimentary terrain to the southwest on the system here. So this is the natural question is, how has this been overlooked? And this just shows you a road cut that actually from a road that was put in the late 1980s. And we just did systematic sampling on the outcrops of these roads. And this is the oxidized shear that was outcropping. And we're just showing one area of a zone that channel sampled at 4.88 grams per ton gold over 23.5 meters. And this shows the shallow dipping structure evident by the white arrows. This is primarily oxidized sulfides in a sulfide breccia with sometimes late quartz stibnite silicification in the matrix. So this shows a really good hit of 15.15 grams over 1.83 meters associated with elevated antimony in the hanging wall of the structure, outcropping right there subsurface under the talus fines. So because that outcrop you could dig out with a shovel, we decided to go with an RC drilling to get us good recovery through that oxidized material. And 41 of the 51 holes hit greater than 3 meter widths of gold. And we now, together with the diamond drilling, defined this shallow dipping minus 35 degree dipping eagle zone over about 250 by 150 meter area with an arithmetic average grade of 5.13 grams per ton gold over an estimated true width of all the intersections of 11.2 meters. We also, through that RC work, found the Imperial Zone up plunge, which had never been tested with drilling near surface, and made a new discovery at the Diplomat Zone, which is their best drill hole to the northwest on the property. We transitioned as a result of that encouragement to 22 diamond drill holes with a focus on the Eagle area primarily, but also did some drilling at the Imperial Zone. And 3 of the 16 holes had greater than 100 gram meter product, including a really good intersection of 15.7 grams over 24.8 meters, including a high-grade core in there of about 27 grams over 4 meters. That also included a sulfide bearing intercept of 8.6 over 24.4, and that's probably true width. We don't know what the true width is on the first intersection because of the structural setting. And then we also had very good intersections of 1.7 grams over 62 meters. We did 6 holes at the Imperial Zone, and 4 of those 6 were mineralized, with 1 of those with greater than 100 gram meter product, and that was the hole that assayed 8.47 grams over 24.9 meters, and that's an estimated true width. So essentially, of our 22 drill holes, 16 of them had greater than 10 gram meter product, and 4 of those had greater than 100 gram meter product. Very good success rate in an orogenic type gold system. So this is a plan map of the Eagle Zone. This is just 400 meters of trend on the full 1.5 kilometers that we have identified with gold and bedrock. And so this is an area where we're seeing pretty continuous mineralization where we've tagged it on surface and in drill holes. And the red represents the Eagle shear, minus 35-degree dipping shear projected to surface over that 250 by 150 meter area. And it's still wide open to the southeast and likely got at least 400 meters of strike potential that needs to be tested now with drilling supported by geochem, soil geochem, and the fact that the drill hole intersections we've got to date are open to the southeast. Of most significance here is where that red zone intersects a melange or fault breccia that's quite altered and healed and silicified, is what we interpret as a feeder structure, and that's where we got our really good intersection of 15.7 grams over 24.8 meters. And that zone will now be the focus, the intersection zone will be the focus of some of our exploration activity with drilling this coming year. What I'm going to show you on here is just walk you through sections to show you what this zone looks like. We're at daylights to the northwest and dipping into the hill with the cross sections here, and in this area. So the zone outcrops on a dip slope that's about 30 degrees, and the structure is dipping about 35. So you see a lot of the zone outcropping. And that's why we get this channel sample at Eagle 1 ran 31.5 meters of 5.8 grams per ton gold. But the estimated true width in this zone is more like in this area about 16 meters, where we collared it right from surface. And with a higher grade core in there of about 9.7 grams over 12.2 meters. And that's probably approximate true width. Next section is stepping back into the hill where that shallow dipping structure dips back into the hill. And this is an area where we got intersections like 8.62 grams over 24.4 meters. And then up dip narrower zones, but still good grades of 14 grams over 2.4 and 5.11 grams over 5.6. The zone seems to dip into this vertical structure, which we call a melange, which is really iron carbonate altered. Our hits further down the hill did not find the zone continuing into the structure here. But as we move up the hill into the next section, you can see that zone looks like it's now intersecting with a feeder feature related to that silicified and altered melange sequence. And that's the zone where we got the 1.72 gram per ton gold over 62.1 meters through that intersection. And then the shallower dipping feature that didn't run as well as we expected, but you still see 2.7 grams over pretty significant widths of 10 meters or so. About 30 meters back from this section is where we've got a drill hole, our best drill hole on the property that ran 15.7 grams over 24.8 meters. But we don't have enough drill holes on that section to create a section for you to look at. So what I'm going to do is show you a longitudinal projection where all of these holes are projected onto a longitudinal. So this is a vertical slice through this area on this line through here, looking to the east, and then we'll show you the different sections that we just looked at there. So this is a longitudinal projection, and then the shallower dipping feature then dips into the section and shows the structure coming along here, which is the shallower dipping minus 35-degree dipping feature, and then dips into what we interpret is somewhere in this area is the vertical feeder structure. And that's supported by this really good drill intersection that's a little higher up than expected for the vertical, for the shallow dipping structure, and is supported vertically above it by gold values in chip samples on surface like 7 grams over 1.8 and grabs up to 21 grams per ton up in this area, and then further up the hill, about a 9.7 gram per ton gold over 2.5 meters. So as you can see, this is a zone that's obviously the zone's still wide open to expansion to the southeast, supported by values on surface and very strong alteration. We hope now we are onto the feeder structure that we can start following at depth with reoriented drilling in this area to help us focus on following steeper dipping structural host in this area. So what does this mineralization look like? This just shows you one of the drill holes, the best drill hole we had up there on the top of the hill of the 15.7 grams per ton over 24.8 meters. And this shows you both the lowest grade assay interval we had in there of 4.99 grams per ton gold over 2 meters, and the highest grade sample interval we had in there of 27.5 gram per ton gold over 2.1 meters. So this is very consistently mineralized over the 24.8 meters. And the reason for that is it's an event that involves sulfidization in brittle deformation, and that sulfidized material is rebrecciated with mineralization both in the fragments as well as in the matrix. And then there's a late wash of silicification that seems to come with a higher stibnite or antimony association with the later wash of silicification. Gold is associated with both arsenopyrite and stibnite. And the brecciation nature creates this homogenization of the zone over that full 24 meter interval. So I'm just going to step back here a little bit and look at the longitudinal on the property over the 1.5 kilometer trend where we've got gold in bedrock and drill holes. And this just shows you the detail of that longitudinal area on the Eagle structure, Eagle area structure, where we've got the 400 meters of trend that's mineralized. I want to show you now the historic imperial zone that had some of a lot of the initial work on it, and show you a cross section here. So up here, we're dominated by a shallow dipping structure. Down here, the feature in cross section shows as a much steeper dipping feature. So our interpretation in this district is these steeper features are the feeder systems to shallower rhydal or subsidiary structural sets that are shallower dipping in the area. And as you can see, here's that mineralized event associated with a mafic volcanic dominated footwall in contact with a sediment dominated hanging wall, with the pink showing the real strong, intense iron carbonate sericite alteration envelope around the mineralizing event. So these alteration events are really the cloud of alteration that we look for to identify mineralization within the system. So conclusions in the future, well, we're on to an outstanding new exploration discovery in an historically productive multi-million ounce orogenic gold camp. Our goal is to move this and turn this into also a multi-million ounce discovery. It's on a totally parallel structure that's never been explored or evaluated in the past. We've got a wide pervasive system in an orogenic setting in a brittle structural regime. So epizonal comparisons might be Fosterville in Australia and some of these recent Newfoundland discoveries. So the orogenic model provides a potential for a major gold system with depth continuity. The 2021 drilling has delivered excellent intersections with fantastic intersection statistics for an orogenic gold system. The Eagle zone and Eagle area is now over 400 meters and still open. And a new feeder target opens up real potential to follow that at depth, just like the Imperial zone. And year-round access provides potential for a drilling program throughout 2022, commencing in April. So that's it. Thank you all for listening, and I'm open to taking questions if we've got some. Tim, over to you.
Great. Thank you very much for the presentation, Robert. Yeah, we do have time here just for a quick question, but we had one question submitted, but you basically answered it with the last point there. When do you plan to be drilling again? Can you give us a quick view of what the drilling plans are for starting in April?
Well, we drilled about 4,000 meters last year, so we hope to double the size of our drilling program as a minimum this coming year in terms of diamond drilling. We'll probably also do some reverse circulation drilling because where these zones, we project them near surface. We want to get good recovery through the zone. So we're going to test it with both RC drilling to test the shallower components, and then diamond drilling to pick up these zones and follow them at depth. So we anticipate that the combination of the two could be over 10,000 meter type drill program this coming year.